Hey everybody, it's Craig back to here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to balance the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro with the DJI RSC-2. Now, this is the smaller version of the latest versions of the Ronin. So there's also an RS2, which has a heavier payload. Now, it says on the website that the RSC-2 is not compatible with the 6K Pro, but it does have a 6.6 pound payload. I think it's around 3 kilograms. So technically, you can balance this. It's within the weight limits. Now, also, too, you can control functions of the 6K Pro with the RSC-2. So you can set up a focus motor if you have the Pro combo, which I suggest I have another video about that. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. And right now I have a very heavy lens. It's a 2-pound lens. It's the Zeiss 35mm F1.4 ZE for Canon EF mount. Now that's a 2-pound lens. Now also too, once I balance this and show you some footage from this setup and how it works, I'm also going to test out the Sigma 18-35, which is a popular lens on the Blackmagic cameras, and we'll see if this is able to balance as well too. So stick around for the end of the video to see if this works with this setup. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so with this lens here, the Zeiss 35 f1.4, it's a fully manual lens. So you'll need the focus motor. So that's why I recommend getting the combo, the Pro combo with this, because it comes with the focus motor. Now there's a couple of different little base plates for the camera. This one has holes in it, so you can put the screws, and then you mount this, and then you put in the little rod and your focus motor. Now they recommend doing this on the left-hand side. Now I'm using a counterweight with this, and so everything balances really well. I tried doing it without a counterweight and putting the focus motor on the right-hand side, and just the way it's set up here with the USB plug right there, it became very awkward and complicated, and I was at my max limits. So I got the small rig counterweight. And you can get this, it's for the Blackmagic 4K, 6K, 6K Pro. And there's 2 weight sizes. So you can see here, there's a little counterweight right here. There's 2 weight sizes. This is the smaller of the 2. So it just mounts on the right axis. And what I like about this one here, the RSC-2 versus the original Ronin, which I still have, is that you're able to lock each axis in place so that you can put your camera on here easily. So right now they're locked. So if I just click that there, I can lock it here, and then you can see it's easy to set up because I can put the camera on here. Now there's one trick to this too, is there's 3 different holes on this base plate here, if you can see. So you want to be on the farthest right. Now also it can be kind of complicated because you also have 2 different holes you can mount on the bottom of your camera. So I'm not using a cage. Because this lens is 2 pounds, I'm trying to keep the weight down as much as I can. And I found that by going on the closest one to the lens, this screw hole, the farthest right, that seems to work. So I'm going to put this base plate on, and then I'll show you connecting it to the camera and balancing it. All right, so we're back, and I'll just show you what we have here. So we have the 6K Pro, we have the focus motor, you can see right here, and we also have the little band. So this comes with the Pro combo. Now this is for manual focus lenses, so maybe old vintage lenses, lenses that don't have autofocus. Now we have the USB-C to USB-C. I'll show you where that goes. So this one here runs from right here to the USB-C port of the camera. Now the downside of that is you can't use the USB-C for external recording, say to the Samsung T5. So if you don't need this, it's not totally necessary. This will allow you to adjust the aperture of the camera. And this connection here that goes to the focus motor, this will allow you to adjust the focus of a manual lens. Now also too, if it's an autofocus lens with this connection here, the USB-C to USB-C, you should be able to use the focus motor to control the focus without the focus motor. So I'm going to test that on the Sigma 18-35 because that's got autofocus into it. Although the autofocus isn't great on this camera, you can probably use the focus control. I haven't tried it. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. But anyway, this is what you would use as a setup for a strictly manual focus lens like the Zeiss EF series, the ZE series, Canon EF. It's native Canon EF, so you don't need an adapter. And now there's a difference between the Nikon version. The Nikon allows you to adjust the aperture ring, and this one doesn't. So you have to adjust the aperture from the camera, which isn't a big deal. I don't have a problem with that, although some people like fully manual lenses. Just something to think about. So anyway, I have this set up, and I'm going to go out, shoot some footage, and show you how stable this actually works. But you can see it's already balanced. It's not even on. Now, in order to balance it, what I do is I lock all the access points. I mount the camera. Like I said, I have it set up to the far right, first screw hole. And then the first one you do is you turn it this way. So straight up and down, and you want to balance it that way. Once you get that balanced, then you can unlock the next axis, and then you could try to balance left or right. Now you can see how it's balancing. And then also the third would be this one, the fore and aft, and then the fifth one is the bottom one, or the fourth one here is the bottom. And all you have to do is just turn this on an angle, and if it doesn't take off on you, then you're balanced, meaning it doesn't start spinning this way when you do that. So once you've got that, you'll also have to do a calibration of this setup. Now you can do that with your phone, or also you can do it just with the gimbal itself. So you turn on the gimbal, and there's a dial. So there's a dial on the left-hand side with the RSC-2. And so I'll just turn this on, and then what I'll do is I'll do the calibration. So okay, we've got it on. It seems to be okay, but I'm just going to go to the calibration setting here, and I'm going to scroll through to auto tune, and I'm going to hit start. Now it's going to calibrate for this current setup. So with the focus motor, the lens, like I said, it's a 6.6 pound payload that this can handle. I think it's around 3 kilograms. And this camera is about 3 pounds. The lens is about 2 pounds. Then we have the focus motor. So it's under 6.6. So you can see it's completed, and I'm going to be able to just sort of turn it here like this, and you can see that it's balanced. It's not really struggling. And then what I'll do is I'll take it out and show you how the focus motor works with this manual lens. So again, this is the DJI RSC-2 Pro combo with the focus motor. So let's go outside and test this out. Alright, this footage was shot on the Zeiss 35mm F1.4 ZE Canon EF mount. Alright, so we're back, and now I've balanced the Sigma 18-35 on the 6K Pro, and it seems a little lighter actually than the Zeiss 35 F1.4. Slightly, I think it might be like 0.2 pounds lighter. But again, although this isn't rated as being compatible with the 6K Pro, I'm able to balance the 6K Pro with the Sigma 18-35, which is a very popular lens. And what's pretty cool too, I noticed, was that the Ronin RSC-2 is trickle charging the battery. I could see that that's happening. I could see that the light was on when the camera wasn't on. I don't know if you could totally power it by this little Usbc. I doubt it, but it seems like it's got an added benefit of a trickle charge. And I'm also able to control the focus without the focus motor. So with the Zeiss, which was fully manual, I needed the focus motor in order to focus with the front dial. But if you can see, I can hold this up here. I'm able to control that. You can hear the focus motor if you listen really close. I'll just put it by the microphone here. You can hear the focus motor of the lens. So the Sigma 18-35 is an autofocus lens. So that allows me to control the focus of the lens with the USB-C cable without the focus motor. So that's a good thing. And for some reason, I should be able to control the aperture, but I'm not really able to adjust it very far for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. But also, I should be able to record, and the record function's working. So this is the first time I'm actually testing it. So I was able to hit record. I'm able to focus, but for some reason, I can't seem to adjust the aperture with the front dial. I don't know why that is, but it should be. But the thing with this too is that I would have to go into the menu and change what it was going to set. So the focus dial in the front here can only do one function at a time. So you would have to manually adjust it anyway. So in most cases, if you're outdoors, you're probably, unless you're in cloudy conditions, if it's a clear day, you're probably not going to adjust your aperture that much or your ISO that much. Really, you're just going to want to adjust your focus and hit record on and off. So it does those things with the Sigma 18-35, and like I said, with the Zeiss manual focus lens, you need the focus motor. But if you get the Pro Combo, which I recommend, then that would work fine. But anyway, let's look at some footage with the Sigma 18-35. This footage was shot on the Sigma 18-35mm f1.8. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and we're going to end this video with some footage from the Sony a7S III, which we're going to compare to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro next week. So subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.